What's up, everyone? So lately we've been seeing this massive comeback of premium compact cameras. Not smartphones pretending to be cameras, actual cameras built for people who genuinely enjoy photography. And honestly, it makes sense. A lot of creators are getting tired of carrying huge setups everywhere, but at the same time, they still want something that feels serious in the hand, gives them real controls, real lenses, real image quality, and most importantly, something that makes photography fun again. And that's exactly where this thing comes in, the Panasonic Lumix L10. Now, this camera is interesting for a lot of reasons. First off, this is basically Panasonic stepping back into the premium compact game in a serious way. A lot of people loved the old LX100 series, and honestly, this feels like the spiritual evolution of that camera. But Panasonic didn't just refresh the old formula and call it a day. They upgraded almost everything that actually matters in real-world use. You're getting a larger micro Four Thirds sensor, phase detect autofocus, insane video features, a fully articulating screen, Leica glass, modern color science, and a design philosophy that feels way more focused on the actual shooting experience instead of just throwing specs at you. And honestly, after looking through everything this camera offers, this might genuinely be one of the most interesting everyday carry cameras we've seen in a long time. So yeah, let's get into the details. Right away, the first thing that stands out about the Lumix L10 is the design. Panasonic clearly wanted this thing to feel like a real camera again. Not overly futuristic, not covered in gimmicks, just clean, classic, premium camera design. And honestly, they nailed that balance really well. The body has this textured finish that almost feels like wrapped leather, mixed with anodized metal accents that give it a very refined look without becoming flashy. It feels premium in the hand without trying too hard. And one thing Panasonic kept talking about during the development process was tactile experience. Stuff like dial resistance, shutter feel, button placement, lever tension. They obsessed over all of that. And honestly, you can tell. This camera looks like something you actually want to carry every day. And that matters way more than people think, because the best camera in the world means nothing if you never feel like bringing it with you. Size-wise, the Lumix L10 sits in this really nice sweet spot too. It's compact enough to throw into a small bag or carry around all day, but it still gives you enough grip and physical controls to feel like a serious photography tool. It doesn't feel cramped like some smaller compact cameras do. Now, let's talk about the lens, because honestly, this is a huge part of why this camera feels so special. The Lumix L10 uses a Leica DC Vario Semilux lens with a 24 to 75mm full-frame equivalent focal range and a bright f1.7 to 2.8 aperture. And honestly, that zoom range is perfect for an everyday carry setup. 24mm gives you enough width for street photography, landscapes, travel shots, architecture, or vlogging. Then you've got enough reach at 75mm for portraits, tighter framing, product shots, or detail work without needing to swap lenses. And unlike a lot of compact cameras that sacrifice aperture once you zoom in, this thing stays relatively bright throughout the range. Plus, the lens itself has been refined over years of Lumix development, and Panasonic clearly trusts this lens because they basically built the whole L10 concept around it. You're also getting macro capabilities with a minimum focusing distance of around 3 centimeters, which honestly opens up a lot of creative possibilities for close-up product shots, food photography, textures, and detail work. And then there's the sensor upgrade. This is where the L10 becomes way more serious than older compact cameras. Panasonic brought over the same 4/3 sensor technology found in the GH7 paired with their latest image processor. That means you're getting a 26.5 megapixel backside illuminated CMOS sensor with an effective resolution around 20.4 megapixels, along with massively improved processing power. But honestly, the biggest upgrade here is probably phase detect autofocus, because older Lumix autofocus systems were sometimes the one thing people consistently criticized, especially for video or subject tracking. But now, the autofocus performance is dramatically better. Subject recognition is faster, tracking is more reliable, and casual shooting feels much more effortless. And honestly, that changes the whole experience of using the camera. You stop worrying about whether the shot is in focus and start focusing more on composition and creativity, which is exactly what Panasonic wanted with this camera.
Now, photo quality itself looks really impressive too. Panasonic keeps talking about their philosophy of photographic vitality and beauty, and honestly, the color science here looks fantastic. The camera is clearly designed to produce images that already look good straight out of camera instead of forcing you into heavy editing afterward. And they added some really interesting new photo styles too. The new L Classic mode gives you softer, more restrained tones with this almost film-like atmosphere. Then there's L Classic Gold, which adds warmth and a nostalgic vibe without looking overly fake or Instagram filtered. Honestly, these modes feel less like gimmicky presets and more like actual creative tools, especially for people who enjoy photography as an experience instead of treating every photo like a raw editing project afterward. And Panasonic also leaned heavily into LUT support this time around. With Lumix Lab, you can create your own LUTs, transfer them directly into the camera, and basically customize your entire visual style before you even press the shutter. There's even AI-assisted LUT generation using something called Magic LUT, where the app can analyze an image style you like and generate a matching LUT automatically. That's honestly pretty wild for a compact camera. Now, video performance, this is where things get kind of ridiculous, because even though Panasonic keeps positioning the L10 as a photography-focused everyday camera, the video specs are honestly way beyond what most people expected. You're getting uncropped 4K up to 120 FPS, Full HD up to 240 FPS, 10-bit recording in certain modes, vlog support, open gate recording, multiple codecs, and surprisingly advanced video functionality overall. And honestly, that makes this camera incredibly versatile. You could absolutely use this thing for YouTube content, travel filmmaking, cinematic B-roll, social media work, interviews, or even professional client work in the right situations. The flip-out screen helps a ton here too. Panasonic finally moved away from the older fixed display design and added a fully articulating side-hinged screen, which immediately makes this thing way more practical for vlogging, solo creators, vertical content, or low-angle shooting. And thankfully, they also upgraded the EVF. Older Lumix compact viewfinders sometimes had that shimmering effect that a lot of people didn't love, but now the OLED viewfinder feels much steadier and cleaner overall. Honestly, this camera feels like Panasonic actually listened to years of feedback. You're also getting a proper microphone input now, USB-C connectivity for charging and fast transfers, webcam functionality, customizable controls, hot shoe support, vertical shooting UI rotation, and tons of little usability improvements throughout the body. Now, obviously, this camera isn't perfect. One thing we notice is that stabilization still isn't quite at the level of Panasonic's larger IBIS-equipped bodies. Walking handheld vlog footage can still look a bit shaky unless you're careful or using additional stabilization. And there's no joystick either, which honestly feels like the one missing control considering how advanced everything else is. Battery life and thermals also lean more towards short-form shooting rather than long, continuous recording sessions. Panasonic estimates around 20 minutes of 4K 30 recording under certain thermal settings, so this probably isn't the camera you'd choose for non-stop event recording or long podcast sessions. But honestly, that's also kind of missing the point of what this camera is trying to be. The Lumix L10 isn't designed to replace a cinema camera or a giant hybrid workhorse body. This thing is designed to make you want to shoot more often. And honestly, that's probably the most important thing about it. Everything about the camera feels built around the idea of making photography enjoyable again. The tactile controls, the classic styling, the compact size, the beautiful color profiles, the everyday versatility, the fact that you can just grab it and go without needing a backpack full of lenses. It feels less like a technical tool and more like a creative companion. And honestly, in a world where cameras keep getting more complicated, there's something really refreshing about that. So yeah, overall, the Panasonic Lumix L10 honestly feels like one of the strongest premium compact cameras we've seen in years. It combines modern autofocus, excellent image quality, strong video capabilities, beautiful design, and everyday usability into one seriously well-rounded package. For street photographers, travel shooters, hybrid creators, YouTubers, everyday carry enthusiasts, or honestly anyone who misses cameras that feel fun to use again, this thing makes a lot of sense. Alright guys, that's going to be it for this one. Let us know down in the comments, would you actually pick this over something like the Fujifilm X100 series or even a larger interchangeable lens setup? Because honestly, Panasonic might have nailed the balance here. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel for more camera reviews and creator gear content like this, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.